This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Magazine publisher and entrepreneur Judith Mancini is sharing captivating conversations with experts in their field about the latest trends in our ever-changing world to help you become healthy, wealthy, and wise. Judith Mancini today will spark your interest and inspire you to lead your best life ever. And now, here's Judith.
Hey, 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 we're the USA. Guess what? My entire show is going to be about how grateful I am to be part of the USA. Born in the USA, that's me, and that's you. Boy, are we the fortunate ones. Summer solstice has come and gone, marking the halfway point of 2025. So tell me true, is your cup half empty or overflowing with blessings? It's an easy one for me to answer. Mine's overflowing for blessings. And I have so many, even though I've had a very sad couple of weeks and I've missed all of you. I hope you watch the replays. But I'm here to tell you it's time to celebrate the birth of the nation. Yep. I was just talking to my fabulous engineer, and we're both so excited for this weekend and the celebrations that are going on and all. And he was saying how he wants to put a big flag in front of his house, but he hasn't been able to find one for a long time because everybody's so excited. They're buying them up. They're selling like hotcakes. Well, we live in a condominium complex and it's lovely, but they don't allow us to have any flags of any sort. Not high school flags, not country flags, nothing. So I went and I bought a flag. It's this big on a little stick this big. And I don't care what they say to me. It's going on the railing around my teeny tiny patio. And it's going to be up there from today through the whole weekend when we're celebrating the 4th of July, Independence Day. I'm proud to be an American. There's so many songs that are so patriotic, from I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy to America the Beautiful and Born in the USA. There are tons of them. Why don't you get your heart beating fast? And from today forward, be grateful that you are part of the greatest nation on earth. Make America great again. And boy, has President Trump done that. We have the lowest unemployment rate that says, I don't even know when. It's just been at least months and years. So who are you guys telling me that the economy is so bad? Gas prices have already dropped, except in California. And you know why? Because we have a Democratic governor who doesn't give a poo about you or me. He thinks he's getting everybody riled up and they're going to vote for him to be president. Are you kidding me? He may as well be running on the Democratic Socialist ticket or the Socialist Democratic ticket. But what it really is turning into, and all of you diehard Democrats that have been wonderful patriots through the years, you better stop it now because they're not socialists, they're communists. I've talked about communism before. I'm not going to get into it right now, but it would be a sorry, sorry time for this country that wouldn't even exist anymore. Well, there's a lot of things going on. These terrible demonstrations, these more than 24 people that have been elected to office, and they're already trying to get rid of ICE. You remember what ICE is? They're going after illegal immigrants that got here illegally during the Biden term. In my opinion, I've got to get that off my head. Okay. In my opinion, there we go. In my opinion, Biden has contributed greatly to the demise of our country. And if we don't stop it now, it's going to be too late. So I am happy that President Trump is in office and JD Vance is in office and Marco Rubio is the Secretary of State. These people, I don't want to forget some of the other great people in the cabinet and all, and the other people that are fighting for us, and particularly our military, who is over there protecting everyone in the Iran debacle. This has got to end, and I will make no bones about it. I am in favor of bombing them. I don't want to kill innocent civilians, but the person and the people that call themselves the leaders of the country are killing their own citizens for them going out and marching in one of their squares and saying, we want more. We want democracy. We don't want to be told we can't go to school because we're a woman. We don't want to be told as a woman we have to wear a hijab around. They are being slaughtered over there. They're being hung. If you miss some of my shows, you will have missed what I said about people that they are hanging, young athletes, because they want to be free. It's appalling to me after all that has gone on that people can't see this. Now, I like to watch the news in the morning, and this morning I saw a demonstration going on about October 7th, the horrible, horrible massacre of people at a music concert. It was all young people that they did this to. They came down in drones with their guns and started shooting everybody there who was waiting to hear the bands. And this woman was out there, and she was probably a little younger than me. I'd say she was between 60 and 70. She was complaining and saying, why isn't there an investigation over there in Israel how this happened? How these Jewish kids were shot and killed, and some of them captured and tortured. What is she saying? That there has been no thorough investigation that had uncovered who led this? Well, we know the countries that did, but we don't know the specific people and how long it was being planned and everything else. Now, we are becoming a country that is having a terrible thing happen. Anti-Semiticism is happening in the United States again. This happened before World War II. Fortunately, people changed their mind. I don't know why the Jews have been persecuted since biblical times. This is not good. What is going on and what people are saying and doing is horrible. Chuck Schumer won't even acknowledge the fact that that one person, a member of Congress, was treated so horribly because he was Jewish in a coffee shop. A coffee shop, a member of the government. What the hell is going on? We've got to stop this now. We've got to stop people who are running for office that are so far left, they're actually communist. They'll deny it, like Governor Pritzker of Illinois did this morning. Oh, no, no, no. Can you believe that somebody who's so wealthy would lean towards communism? If you don't know this, Governor Pritzker of Illinois is part of the Pritzker family that founded Hilton Hotels. His family thought he was so whacked out that they threw him out of their own family, paid him off, and said, "Get out. We don't want you." You know, Paris Hilton, that is his niece, I believe. That would be how that would follow in their family. Paris Hilton, everybody thought she was a wacko and a ne'er-do-well as a child. She wasn't. She was saying things she believed in. And yeah, she got a little bit in trouble, but her mother, Kathy Hilton, did things that Paris didn't like. But Paris has turned out to be a wonderful mother, a wonderful person, earning her own fortune, working hard. She comes out to the Coachella Valley where we live all the time when the music festivals are going on. And she's a DJ, but she's an influencer. And she has two beautiful children that she raises, and she takes care of herself. I'm sure she gets something from the Hilton Foundation or whatever they have set up for their family. And well, she should. Okay. Do you own a home? Are you thinking about buying a home? Well, you better think again when you're in that voting box area, because if you keep electing these young people leaning so far to the left, and you'll notice they're all young, some of them have gone to college, some haven't, some read, some don't, some speak, some don't. Most of them are very ignorant if they honestly think that communism will make their life better. We have been founded on the idea of freedom in the United States. We are allowed to own property. We are allowed to get jobs or work hard or however you want to earn the money other than illegal ways, to buy your own house, to raise a family that they can expect to do the same thing. If we get these so-called socialist Democrats, i.e. communists, elected and they start changing things, is that how you want to live? What if you had a condominium in one of the towers or apartment buildings or condo buildings in New York? Because unlike most of the country, New York is small compared to other cities, and it has always been in high rises that most of the people lived. In the city, you don't have residences like we do in the suburbs. These are people living in buildings where it's a co-op and you buy into it and you own it outright, or you rent it. You pay dues to have it maintained like we do in our condominium, the homeowners association. We pay for them to watch over and make sure that they clean the pools, what have you. Do you want somebody to come and tell you, get out of here? It's no longer yours. It belongs to the people. Excuse me. I can't find my... I'm terribly sorry. I've been allergic to something down here for the last few days, and my nose has decided to not cooperate with me. So here we go. I don't want somebody to come and take this condominium. Let me tell you something. We had big houses. We had large houses, 5,000, 7,000 square foot houses. We did very well in our lives. I don't have a college education, and that's for many reasons. I haven't told you all my entire story of my growing up and my brother and I, how we lived with relatives because our mother contracted polio and our father deserted us. Now I forgive him for not being around us all the time. He came home from World War II and married my mother, and he obviously suffered from PTSD. And it wasn't until about 3, 4, 5 years ago that I realized I had been criticizing him all these years for not being around to raise me or my brother. And the reason I'm telling you this is he came home and he worked and he was able to excel in the insurance world. And I became one of the executives and all. But he couldn't hold it all together. And he couldn't feel like he was responsible for taking care of my mother, who was in an iron lung at the time and everything else. So he decided that he just needed to take my brother and me to my grandmother's, his mother, in Los Angeles and drop us off. He never came back to get us. I didn't understand it. Now I understand it. But what I'm trying to tell you is I didn't go to college because I didn't have the money. I did start school at Cal State Long Beach. Now, my grandma, who raised us, left me a little bit of money so that I could go to college. And then I found out one of my very horrible uncles took the money and spent it, and I didn't have any money. So I was carpooling back and forth to school. And then I had an English teacher. I was an English major. And all he could talk to me about on the hill at Long Beach, Cal State Long Beach, was free love. What? I was being hit on by a professor? Ugh. So I just left. I didn't even go to any more classes. I just left. And I went on to make a living for myself and had fun and excelled at what I was doing until I found the magazine that my current husband of the time then and I bought together. What I'm trying to tell you on a long roundabout way is a little bit about how I grew up. I don't want people to think I grew up with a silver spoon in my mouth because I didn't. I worked hard for everything I had, and I've been able to own houses, cars, clothes, raise two children, put them in private school. Anybody in the United States, no matter what your background is, you can rise above everything and become successful and become happy and know that nobody is going to take anything away from you except these new young upstarts who think communism is the way. Because what they want is they want the condos or the houses that you're living in without working. They just want it to be taken away from the people and given to them. Communism is not good. You should read some books, and I'm not telling you just read a textbook on communism or socialism. I want you to read some things like Stolichnaya and how he was sent to a gulag because of his thoughts of freedom and democracy and exposing things that were going on in Russia. Of course, he had to escape with his life to get out of Russia and came over here to the United States. Then there's Orwell, George Orwell, who wrote some books about what happens to regular people when evil people take over. You can get them in any store. I want you to go out and read those books. I don't want you to read textbooks about it. There are some contemporary writers who speak about all of this. One of them is Victor Davis Hanson. You should read him. There's J.D. Vance, who just came out with another book. He came out, first of all, with a book about growing up without anything except love, and how his mother suffered with drugs and all of that. And then he's just come out with another book about how he lost his faith in God and he came back to it. And that's what helps him in his life today. I am very happy. Of course, you all know I'm a conservative and I'm a Republican, but I try to learn about the people who are in office, who are running for office, and what's going on. Don't just blindly follow people. Figure out why you want them. Look at Marco Rubio. His parents came from Cuba. Look what he's doing. He could be one of the top 2 people in the country running our country in the next election. You don't know. You just don't know about anything. But there are people in the United States who want the best for you. And I think you need to look at some news stations and listen to some news shows and some commentators and shows for entertainment. Hollywood has been left all the time, very left leaning politically, except during the days when they came through and they accused certain people in Hollywood as being communist. What? Hollywood has been kind of, pardon my expression, screwed up for many years between their politics and what they want to do. So first, the politics were just normal people becoming successful after the founding of the film industry. And a lot of people had a bit of a problem with it that weren't in that industry because the people making the money and owning the studios were Jewish. They still are. Did they do something wrong to us? No. Well, the other people did wrong things to them. They went through Hollywood and they declared some of them communists and everything else. They ruined people, they blackballed people. It's still getting straightened out. Now we have some very outspoken people that are very famous actors who continuously bash President Trump. Well, I don't see this particular person. I don't want him coming after me, so I'm not going to mention his name. But all he does is bash Trump and how horrible he is and this and that. But this particular person, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see him helping other people. I don't see him with a foundation. I could be wrong. I haven't investigated. So don't quote me on any of this. I'm just giving you my opinions on all of this. I think he needs to sit down and read a book. I think he needs to take a look at himself. And has he done anything besides make box office hits? I don't think so. I've never seen anything about him doing that. On the other hand, there's Gary Sinise, who founded his own foundation that he does a great deal of charitable work for, and he goes onto military bases continuously. He's on the road continuously helping these people that serve us in the military and protect you and me. You can think about other people who have founded foundations. Look at Tower to Tunnel. They weren't in the entertainment industry, but that is their big heart and what they did to honor the brother that was killed on 9/11. And now you have these upstart little brats running for office to run our country. And you know what they say? It was good that they did that horrible airplanes running into the Twin Towers and killing people. They say it's great, good. We should have another 9/11. Are you kidding me? You shouldn't even be living in the United States. If I had my way, I'd throw you out just for that statement. People, we live in the greatest country on earth. Not only are unemployment rates the lowest they've been for so long, we are a country where we still have freedom of speech. So we're not going after any of these people and telling them to shut their mouths and stitch it closed with some fishing line. We just let them talk. But you better not keep voting them in office, because once they start talking, they start doing. And you're going to find yourself without an apartment, without a house, with nothing. There is a love for the United States growing also. And it can be seen with the number of people, men and women, who have enlisted in our armed forces. We have the biggest people joining the military since I don't know when. It's up so many percentage points. It's amazing. I myself have a grandson who is 21 in August, who has decided he doesn't want to go do any more sit-down book learning. He'd rather do it on his own, and he would like to just skip the college part. Well, I love education. I love people to go, but some people just aren't ready for it or don't want to go. I quit because of necessity. I didn't have the money to continue, and I went off to make a living and get away from an uncle who was abusing me to get away. Now, my grandson lost his father nearly 5 years ago to suicide, my son. And so he doesn't have him anymore, and he grieves still. And he likes to be the tough guy and not let everybody know he's grieving, but he does talk to his grandma mama once in a while, and he will tell him that. That's a whole nother story. Right now, he is working for my daughter's husband in the electrical contracting field. He's learning a skill, but he's undetermined on what he wants to do. And he wants to do, he thinks, join the Marines or become a firefighter. Two things to help humanity. And I'm encouraging it all. I think he needs to fill in some of his things that he's not learning in your couple of years of college. And for all I know, he is, because he's told me about one of the schools around his mother's home in Calabasas that he could go to get some information and education on things that he's interested in. So I think one of the greatest things that has happened in this country lately is the dirty jobs guy who has brought back blue-collar jobs for youth and middle-aged people. And not everybody has to go to college and get a degree in English literature or something that they will never use again. There are many classes and different things that you could become by going to college. I'm not banning education. I'm just saying there's different ways to get an education. What you don't want to do is get out of high school or junior college or whatever they call it now, community college, or your first year, and not have in your head what you might go train for. That just leaves you open to go smoke a lot of marijuana, taking pills, doing drugs. There's no easy way, but don't start running around with people that are going to actually lead to your death and ruin your life. You need to tell your kids there are alternatives to doing the education that they need to become a contributing person to society and make themselves happy and find a spouse and get married and have children and have their own home. You can do it all here. You can do anything in the United States to become successful. Why do we have homeless? Because they lost the faith They lost the faith in our country. They went out, they couldn't afford their house anymore, and they couldn't afford a hotel or a motel or someplace to live, and they ended up in their car, and now they're on the streets, and now they're into drugs or alcohol or something like that. There's ways to help these people, but it's not by giving them handouts. It's by giving them a hand up. I don't know how I went off on this tangent, but I just feel so passionately about what's happening. People who don't have the chance to do things and don't understand how you could have help moving up. So one thing is, I wish that Vice President J.D. Vance would print enough books to go distribute them in some of these homeless population areas where they're living on the streets, and they would love somebody to tell them how they can rise up. And it might be through finding their faith. And I think that would be a wonderful thing to happen. Nobody wants to live on the street. So many young people get on a bus and come to LA and hope to become an actor or an actress. And they're trying to escape from people that are abusing them at home or forcing them to do things they don't want to do. And then, unfortunately, boys and girls get picked up by these horrible cartels and other horrible gangs, and they pick up these young people and they start trafficking them, sexually trafficking them. And people pay money for that. And they're all over. This is a major problem now. It's always been a major problem, but it's becoming worse and worse and worse. I'm happy to see that President Trump has gotten some of our agencies to go over after the cartels and get rid of these people. I have a dear friend whose child was at a party and took one pill and left us because it was laced with fentanyl. We are now trying to get rid of the fentanyl. Hey, why do they allow these things in? Apparently fentanyl was developed to keep people from having a great deal of pain. I don't know. We could blame the medical institute for causing some of these problems. And what is it with the medical institute, the pharmaceuticals and the doctors and all? A pill a day keeps the doctor away. It used to be an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Only it's not just one pill. It's for older people, my age group. Some of them, you could go into their house and on their kitchen counter are 20 bottles of different kinds of pills to take. My God, go out and get some sunshine. If you can't walk, get a walker or a wheelchair. Get somebody to come in from the Veterans Administration or some other charity group that can come in, or visiting nurse or whatever. Get them to come in if you're by yourself. Maybe they have a great place where you could get a little apartment for free. That's not communism. That's man and woman helping man and woman. Get back on your feet. Go out and get some sunshine. Go take a walk. And people go, I don't live by a park. You don't need to be in a park. In New York, they have Central Park. But also, as you get outside of the city, they have building after building that are 40 stories, 20 stories. There's nothing but asphalt around them. Now, some of them are taken over by gangs, and you don't want that, but you can go down and you can go in a group or something and just walk around. Take your baby outside. Yeah, I know there's a lot of crime. That's what we have to work on. And just Get rid of these bad guys, because this is the land of opportunity. And that's what we're going to be celebrating this weekend. One thing I want you all to remember is we live in one of the most beautiful countries in the world, and the largest that is populated. When I was very young, my grandma she had to learn to drive at 56 or something when we came to live with her. So she was adventurous, and you had to be to raise two small kids. We started taking road trips. And because of that, I want to tell you, oh, the things I have seen. Not in any particular order, but how I was going up in my grandma's car through the desert with a big square block of ice on the floor in the passenger seat as she was driving, because that was the only way we could get some cool air. They didn't have air conditioning in cars way back then. And you're pretty brave to take a car, a brand new car, Ford, that my grandma was driving us across. Okay, in no particular order, the things I've seen. We'll start on the West Coast and kind of move towards the East Coast. I was blessed to be born in Hollywood. Why? Not because I wanted to be a Hollywood star. I was blessed to be born in Hollywood because I was born in the Golden State. We have the Pacific Ocean, the mountains, and the desert, and the cities. We can do anything in one day. We can get in our car and drive out of our neighborhood, go up to the mountains, go down to the sea, and back across through the desert. And we're living in the desert. We've actually lived in every area of California. I've lived in the San Francisco Bay Area. I have lived in the close to the mountains in Lake Tahoe. I actually lived in Nevada in Lake Tahoe, but it was right at the border of California. I've lived in California all my life. I went to Gardena High School. I went to Cal State Long Beach, all those things, but keep going, because you can go through Nevada and you can see beautiful things like Lake Tahoe. You can keep going. You can get to Utah. And in Utah, you can go camping. You can see all these beautiful, gorgeous things, which are Monument Valley. And you can see these huge, big rocks that are all red. It's amazing. You can go camping in them. You can go see the Grand Canyon. You can go down the Colorado River and take one of the canoes and go down the river. Those are all run by the Indian nations that we helped, because we were trying to give them reparations for their land. New Mexico, Santa Fe. There are all sorts of things. South Dakota with Mount Rushmore, Montana with so many beautiful things. National parks. Let's see, where else have we been? We've been to Texas. We've been to Illinois, Chicago. We've lived in Boston. We've lived in New Jersey. We've lived in, did I say New Hampshire? We've lived there. We've lived in Florida. We have done and seen everything in the world. Washington, D.C. I lobbied on the Hill for the vitamin and supplement industry and my magazine, which was a natural health magazine. Washington, D.C., where they're having the state fair and celebrating the 250th birthday of the nation, is exciting. And if you can't make it for this celebration, you be sure you take your kids. Now, my kids were fortunate in the schools they went to. They were both taken on field trips. They were in the same age group. They did it differently. for each age group. They went to Pennsylvania to see the Liberty Bell. Liberty Bell. They then went to Washington, D.C. They saw the Capitol. They saw the monuments. They saw the museums. They have fabulous museums there. The First Ladies with all their gowns. They have the Air and Space Museum that you can see. Oh my gosh, I'm just getting excited. I want to take a road trip again and go across the country. There's just so much to see and do. Take Florida. There's a one part of Florida I haven't been to yet, and that is Cypress Gardens, going out into the marshlands and seeing the crocs and things like that. But don't get too close. I just saw a report on this woman, and I think she was in Tennessee of all places. The crocodiles got her and chewed off two of her arms, and then she died. That's a horrible story. But go to Tennessee, go to some of the southern states. I haven't been to the real old South part of the country. I've been in so many states. I have visited more states than I haven't. I haven't been to Alaska. I would love to go to Alaska. I've been to Hawaii, to many islands in Hawaii. And then I've been south of the border to meet our neighbors. And I made it my duty to take my children when they were in high school and beyond to Mexico to meet our neighbors and our friends. Get out of your shells, people. Let's be friends with people who love us as much as we love them. We are the greatest state in the world, and I'm grateful for all of that. I'm not just grateful for the roof over my head and the food on my table, although it's the most important thing to keep us thriving. I'm happy for people who think the same way I do and love our country and love our government, and the ones who don't want to become communistic and take everything away from you. I'm grateful for my husband. I'm grateful for my family. My husband is my third husband. I had two not great husbands before, and I divorced them because it was too dangerous. I'm grateful for the people who go and sign up for our military that help. By the way, my father was in the military, my grandfather, my brother, my second husband, excuse me, my third husband. I wasn't in the military. Do you know women didn't start joining the military until I was in my probably 30s? They started joining. Oh, yeah, sure. During World War II and things like that, they could become nurses and they could do things like that. But then suddenly we can fly airplanes and we can be in combat troops. It's totally changed. In the 70s, women weren't allowed to have a credit card or a checking account on their own unless their husband signed off on them. Talk about women's lib. Oh my, it's crazy. So here I am at home remotely doing my podcast and thinking about how I'm going to expand this and try to reach more of you. I have a nice number of gentlemen who also listen to me, as well as all my women that I speak to, because my tagline is helping women over 50 to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. Well, I have some gentlemen that are enjoying it too, and I'm grateful for them. And I would like to expand that. So I am going to be starting a newsletter, and I'll let you know how that is going. I'll be working on it for a while to get it back out there. But remember, it's not that hard for me because I owned the largest natural health magazine in the country that was international. So I have a little experience in that. Now I'm just trying to enjoy the Coachella Valley and my family, and I miss them terribly. And I sent a box full of goodies to my 7 and 11-year-old, both boys, Leo and Nico, named with their Argentinian father, my daughter's husband, and I sent them a box full of different things for the 4th of July, and I hope they all enjoy them. I hope you have a safe and wonderful 4th of July. Don't forget some of the old songs like I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy, born in the USA, America the Beautiful, My Country 'Tis of Thee, which is really changed from the national anthem of the UK, Great Britain. All of these songs, California, Here I Come, The Yellow Rose of Texas. Think of all those patriotic songs and enjoy yourself, even if you don't have a good voice like I don't anymore. Go ahead and sing out loud because we are the greatest country in the world. And I know Juan and I are both in our separate little areas going to be out there celebrating with you. So thank you, Juan, for being such a great patriot and helping me and taking care of me when I have emergencies and can't be here. I truly appreciate you. And I appreciate all of you who are listening in. Thanks so much and happy Independence Day.